Hey guys, this is DFS Chan on January 13th. I'm here to talk about tomorrow morning's LPL and LCK 5 game slate. Um, yeah, it's a 5 game slate. It's a very exciting time of the year, where we're gonna have 4/5 game slates every day for the next several days over the weekend. And then we have LEC and LCS from the European League and the American League. And so, yeah, anyway, so lots of fun things happening in the League of Legends DFS world. So, yeah, let's dive in here. Let's talk about what the lineups are, first of all. So LGD versus FPX. FPX is a big favorite, as they should be. Um, uh, yeah, probably should be. And then AL versus OMG, anyone's legend. Used to be Rogue Warriors and now playing against OMG. OMG is a slight favorite there. And then JDG versus RNG. JDG then looked very good the other day, and RNG is kind of warming up with the new roster. So we'll see where that leads them. But RNG is a decent favorite at -350. And then in Korea, LCK, Gen G is playing their first game with the cool, with the revamped roster with Chovy and Peanut. But they're a big favorite at -575 against DRX, who already had a game, but they didn't look that great. So yeah, they're the underdog in DRX. King and Piosik and Zika. And then Fredit Brion is having their first game too. Just like Genji, Fredit Brion is playing as T1 though. So T1 looked very good the other day. So T1 should win, and they're the big favorite at -1000. So yeah, so that's really all the 5 games we have so far. Let's dive into each matchup. LGD versus FPX. I'm just gonna be looking at the roster real quick, and then I'll look at their stats maybe from last game. Fearness, Shadow, Yidge, Eric, and Jinjiao. Same 5 from last game. And then Xiao Lao Hu, Beichuan, Gory, the LWX, and Hang, same 5 for FPX. In the top lane, both players played pretty well, in my opinion. Fearness and Xiao Lao Hu. I like Xiao Lao Hu better, a slight edge to him. And then Beichuan versus Shadow. Both are pretty good. Shadow actually showed up the other day, but Beichuan, he is playing really well right now. So I love Beichuan. And then Gory, I think there were some language barriers I saw throughout the game, last game, but he actually performed better than I thought he would. So I like Gory a lot here. And then LWX versus Hang. LWX played decent, surprisingly. I was kind of down on him before last game, but he played really well. And then Eric and Jinjiao. Yeah, so I do think FPX should win. So we'll see where that leads us. In terms of kill upside, I'll dive in as to what that looked like for each team after last game, and what that means for DFS purposes. Anyone's Legend versus OMG. I was actually really impressed with OMG last game. Shanji, he was the best LDL, best player in the LDL last season, which is the minor league equivalent for Chinese League of Legends. So he was very impressive in their first game. And then Cream, he basically, kind of picked up where he left off last season, especially like playing really well in the mid lane. And I feel like that's gonna be a huge mismatch against Forge. I think Cream's gonna be doing it. He's gonna do really well today. And then Abel and Cold have played decent. So as long as Aki kind of holds his, kind of weight in the jungle, which it's gonna be hard against Xiao Hao, because Xiao Hao is a pretty good jungler in my opinion. So, but OMG should win in my opinion. I think as long as Aki doesn't feed too much, because I think every single other lane they're gonna win it. So the last LPL game is JDG versus RNG. Like I said, RNG had a decent first game with this new roster, with Ben in the top lane. And I think I mentioned this the other day, but the current meta, they changed the way each player can teleport around the map. So that really puts a lot of restrictions as to what the top laners and the mid laners can do with a teleport. And I've seen a lot of players and games where these top laners and mid laners do not carry teleport. So that obviously limits their kill participation upside, which naturally decreases the top laners and the mid laners fantasy points. So I think that's a very critical element of DFS that we'll need to kind of consider as to what the potential, ceiling is for these top laners and mid laners with or without teleport. Just given the way that they changed it, people can only teleport now onto a turret instead of like onto a minion, or so it's very limited in a way that people can teleport. So but anyway, long story short, I just feel like Ben is one of those several people that may suffer from that. Ben used to historically score very well. I think his kill share percentage will still be kind of high for amongst the top laners because the way that he likes to play. But in terms of like assists and all that, I think he is not gonna have as much exposure on the assist aspect of it because of the change to the teleport spell in the game. So anyway, but I do think after the first game now under his belt, I think under the team's belt as well for the team, I do think they're gonna be playing much better. And now they know how to play with each other a little more easily now. They know what to expect. JDG, on the other hand, in this game, they looked horrible in the last game. I know Kanavi played decent. And 369, I was very disappointed. I feel like he's now trying too hard. I know they were playing against top esports, but still, I don't know if I like them. I think I like RNG here a lot now that they're playing with each other. They have played each other together. So yeah, we'll see. And then in the LCK, as mentioned, the super lineup for Genji, Chovy, Peanut, and then Rulers. Obviously, not anybody to joke about. But Ruler is good, Chovy's good, Peanut's good, and then Dorn is a solid top laner, especially going up against Kingen. I do think Genji should win, obviously based on the rosters, because Genji is a super team, so to speak. But DRX had already have one game under their belt. So that should give them a little bit of advantage. Kind of just, they probably don't have as much jitters as like Genji players since it's gonna be their first game. So I do think Genji's gonna win. Maybe DRX can pull off a game in a series, but I think Genji ultimately is gonna win the series. And then the next game is T1 versus Bro. Like I said, I don't know who's gonna start in the top lane for the Brians or Morgan. I'll post it if I see anything on their team Twitter. But like I said, Brian, when I reviewed them, their roster, they really didn't make them any off-season moves or any splash on the roster. So just given all of that, and then T1, not really known for making volatile mistakes, anything like that, unlike some other top teams that may have volatility. I think T1 is probably the most disciplined team among the elite teams in the LCK. So I do think T1 is going to take care of business. And plus T1 already had the game under their belt. So T1 should win. T1 looked very good in the first game. So I fully expect T1 to do well here. And even if Brion upsets, this is a very important point for DFS purposes. When I'm saying even if Fred Brion pulls off of an upset, more than likely they're not going to score well for fantasy purposes, because even in their upsets last season, they were like when they beat Dangwon Kia, they were notoriously known for having lower kills in terms of fantasy points. So I wouldn't even consider them for GBP. So plus T1 does not give up a lot of bets, even if they were to be upset by another team. So yeah, that's kind of a gist of what I have based on the matchups. I'll kind of go through the stats of, let's see, LPL. I want to see from the first games to see if, let's see, LGD, Fun plus Phoenix, Anyone's Legend, OMG, JDG, and Royal Never Give Up. All right. So all of these teams actually did have a game already. And I'm looking at these. And I'm looking at the combined kills per minute just to kind of measure their kill upside just based on their first game. But obviously, it's only a small size sample. And depending on who the opponent was, this is not very accurate CKPM measurement. I would say at least they need to play at least, 5 to 10 games before we can ascertain what the true CKPM would be on average for each team. But yeah, just based on the first game though, JDG played really fast. Looks like they probably gave up a lot of deaths because they obviously lost both games, but they would still play fast. OMG won 2 games and they play fast. That's very interesting. And then FPX and RNG play kind of slow. So that's very interesting. Okay. Who's playing against who? Let me see. LGD FPX. LGD FPX. Anyone's Legend and OMG. Well, that should be a fast game. JDG, RNG. Yeah, RNG's ceiling is pretty high today in terms of kill upside. So we'll see that where it leads us. And then the lane control percentage. JDG had a really good lane control percentage. Interesting. And then Anyone's Legend as well. Jungle control percentage. Jungle control percentage is what I value a lot because that kind of tells me what team's jungler dominates and dictates, that game, the flow of the game. OMG, it looks like had a really good jungle control percentage, which I was concerned about their jungling, a key. So let me see. Who are they playing? AL. Oh, this is good. Okay. So given all that data and given the roster comparison, I'm willing to make a stance that OMG is going to win tonight. OMG should win, and that's probably my best bet of the day for OMG to win. I thought they were going to struggle because of Xiao Hao on the other side in Anyone's Legend to dominate the jungle, because I know he's a good jungler. But just given the data from last game for OMG, it looks like Aki actually had a really good game. Maybe even though optics wise, he didn't. But data shows me that he did. So anyway, OMG should win. That's probably who I'm gonna have riding in most of my lineups. Maybe pairing OMG with like FPX or RNG, and then maybe one of the underdogs. Maybe T1. But I just don't think this game's gonna T1 versus Freddy Brion's gonna, produce a lot of kills. So maybe OMG and Genji or OMG DRX if you are picking on upset. But yeah, I'll definitely have a lot of OMG in my lineups, I think. And then FPX had a good game in jungle. And who are they playing against? Against LGD. They had a decent jungle control percentage too. So that's interesting. So yeah, I can definitely see a path where LGD could win and pull off an upset over FPX. So I'll be cautious and just blindly going FPX because they have the biggest odds in the LPL games. I think LGD can definitely do it if they hit their ceiling in terms of their potential. I think Shadow is an aggressive jungler where he can kind of get a kill or two for himself or for his teammate, where that can snowball into that into a win. And it looks like JDG and RNG did not have a good jungle control percentage. JDG and RNG. So that's interesting because I like RNG today. But they're playing sick JDG, so themselves. Yeah, so let me see. RNG. That's interesting. So I think RNG should win, except JDG's actually stats are actually not too bad compared to RNG's. So, but for what it's worth, I think RNG should be obviously favored, in that. So anyway, so let's look at the Korean stats real quick in the LCK, and then it's probably gonna be it for me. LCK. Oh, it's not on here yet. Well, looks like we don't really have stats from LCK yet, because it's only been like 1 or 2 days. So anyway, 2 days, I think. But anyway, so yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Like I said, my biggest endorsement today is OMG against anyone's legend. I think OMG should win, and I like OMG's kill upside as well. So yeah, and then I'll play everybody else with that. Maybe not Freddy Brion, but everybody else. So anyway, I hope you guys have a good day, and hope you guys make some money off of this. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know. You can reach me out on Twitter or on Discord at DFS Chan. If you like this video, please hit the like button or subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Bye-bye.